All right, guys, welcome back. So, big news just came out here about, I don't know, 5 minutes ago. I am recording this in between the heat races and the C mains over at the Chili Bowl Nationals. And Sye Lynch just came on TV and mentioned that he is going to be racing full time with High Limit Racing in 2025. And with that announcement, that puts High Limit up to 13, a baker's dozen of full time drivers that we'll be seeing next year. And from what I have heard, there could be one or two more could be joining the tour, at least one for sure. Not for sure, but like one guy that's like right there on the fence of joining. And if he is able to do that, it would be a huge pickup as well. But it's great to have Sye Lynch joining the tour. He's been talking about it for a long time and finally able to put all the marketing, the money behind it, the crew guys behind it. And those have been things in the past for Sye Lynch that have really held him back from making a jump like this. And so he's finally able to do it. Sye Lynch, 27 years old, driver out of Apollo, Pennsylvania. He drives his own Sye Lynch Racing number 42 with some major help from Mercedes Motorsports. You'll hear that a lot on his sponsor list next year with the series. So last year, Sye Lynch ran 43 races in 2024, so not a ton of races, but I think that also goes back to crew help, the amount of money behind his team as well, which it seems like they have fixed that up quite well. And Sye Lynch, and it was Zane was his crew guy. It was just those two at almost every race that I saw them at last year with High Limit Racing. But like I said, 43 races, and I was a little bit hard on Sye Lynch. I made a video talking about 15 guys that either impressed me, were doing just okay, or were kind of, under my expectations. I had Sye Lynch under that expectation sign. But when I went back and looked, I didn't realize that out of his 43 races that he did last year, 85% of them were with the Outlaws or with High Limit. He wasn't running, a bunch of local stuff. He was running against the best almost every single weekend, and he was traveling to a lot of new racetracks he'd never been to before as well. With High Limit last year, he had 26 starts, which is over half of the schedule that he ran last year. Was not able to get a win, but he was very close a couple of times. He had three top five finishes. He had 5 top 10s. And he was able to lead 20 laps of feature action last year with High Limit. On the Outlaw side of things, he had 11 starts with them. He did not get a win, did not get a top 5, and he did get a top 10 at Atomic Speedway, and no laps led there with them. When it comes to SprintCarRatings.com, Sye Lynch was ranked 65th this year in their overall ranking system, which is actually the exact same spot that he was in 2023. So 65th, not exactly the best, but you got to take into account that he only ran 43 races and he did not get a win. Wins with SprintCarRatings.com, I have realized, are huge in their ranking system. But when you're running against the best competition each and every weekend, it is hard to make those wins happen. That is for sure. Now, in 2023, Sye Lynch, I put this on the board because he is going to be making his first ever attempt at a national touring sprint car series. But in 2023, he almost ran the entire All-Star Circuit of Champions schedule. It was a little bit of a weird deal that he had going on. For about 3/4 of the season, he had ran with the Logan McCandless number 29 car after, I can't remember who was driving the car before, but they had departed, and Sye Lynch jumped into it to finish out the rest of the season. So with them, they had 45 races, but if you remember back to the All-Stars, the first 5 or so shows are usually non-points, Volusia, East Bay, all that stuff. Sye Lynch started at race number 8 of the year with the McCandless team, and for about, maybe 30 or so races, I think the final 8 races, he ran his own 42 car, and they had somebody else fill in the seat, but he had 2 top 5s and 11 top 10s. On a regional touring series like the All-Stars were, mostly on the eastern portion of the United States. Not exactly good numbers, but at the same time, I think that Logan McCandless 29 car, they definitely struggled a little bit there during that season. They had Parker Price Miller drive the car as well, and maybe somebody else. And there just really wasn't good results altogether with whoever else got in that car. Sye Lynch did finish out the year with the All-Stars with his own 42, and now after last year running a lot, with the Big 2 series, he decided to make this jump. We saw his tweet the other day that had him, underneath of the High Limit sign, kind of foreshadowing what he was going to do. And Sye Lynch is a huge proponent of High Limit. He loves what the High Limit series is doing, and clearly he wants to be a big part of it. And he is a great depth option. He's a great depth addition to the series. You know, that was one thing that we talked about last year with High Limit was the depth of the field, the competition all the way throughout the 16 competitors. And right now with 13 competitors, that depth is also getting much and much deeper as we continue on here. And hopefully we can add that one more guy. I think 14 would be the perfect number for High Limit. And I do think that is on the table. But Sye Lynch is going to be a guy to watch for, you know, especially when he goes to some of the racetracks he's familiar with, like Lernerville, like Port Royal. We saw him do very, very well this year at Lucas Oil Speedway. He ran second twice at the 2 Lernerville shows. He was leading laps at that Lernerville race, ended up running, I think, 5th in that one after battling with Brad Sweet. And also in the mix here is the Rookie of the Year battle is just getting more and more interesting. Another layer added to that. You got Sye Lynch, you got Danny Sams, you got Aaron Reitzel, as long as they let him be a Rookie of the Year. I'm not sure how that's going to work quite yet. And then, of course, you've got Dason Persley, who just a few minutes ago picked up a heat race win over at the Chili Bowl Nationals. And then I've got a question mark there because there could be that one other guy that we are hoping joins up with the series. And if that is the case, I mean, it's going to be a strong 14-car field for High Limit Racing in 2025. Now, I did want to mention this as well because Sye Lynch, I mean, this is a big jump for this team. They have not gone west very far. You know, they've been to Knoxville, been to maybe a couple of places right there in the Midwest around the Knoxville area, but that's really it. I mean, these guys are going to be going to a lot of new racetracks. 24 new tracks for Sye Lynch just on the High Limit Racing schedule for him next year, including the first 11 races of the season. Sye Lynch will be at all new racetracks for the first 11 races of the year. Vegas, Bakersfield, Paris, Tulare, going to Vado, New Mexico, Central Arizona, the couple tracks that we got in Texas as well. So this is going to be a huge jump for Sye Lynch, but I really like Sye Lynch a lot. I think a lot of race fans like him as well. It's great to add, a Western PA guy to the series. We've already got that PA flavor with Brent Marks. We've got the Indiana flavor. We've got the California, right? We've got those types of guys. And now you add Western PA, which is a pretty big sprint car market. So they're going to have somebody to cheer on whenever High Limit rolls into Lernerville and whatnot. This is going to be the guy that they are all cheering for. So I'm a big Sye Lynch fan. He is a great guy. I feel like he's kind of in that same realm as like a Danny Sams, as a guy that people can kind of relate to. Obviously, everybody knows his father, Ed Lynch, an absolute legend. He did incredible things in sprint car racing, and now his son is going to make the jump to the national tour, and we are very excited to see how it goes for him. So let me know your thoughts. How do you think Sye Lynch is going to do in 2025? Do you think he gets a win? Where does he run out in points? Will he be the Rookie of the Year? I want to hear all of your thoughts and more down in the comment section below. I'm going to turn off the camera, go sit back on the couch, and watch the rest of the Chili Bowl Nationals. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it as well over on Flow Racing. Thank you all for your support. Hit subscribe, hit the comment button, or comment down below, hit the like button, and we'll talk to you guys again here soon.